Hey guys, welcome back. If you've been watching the Phoenix Suns the past few seasons, you have undoubtedly seen them run a European-influenced ball screen action, commonly known as Spain pick and roll, with great success. But what exactly is Spain pick and roll, and how is it different than a typical ball screen? Spain pick and roll is an action where a ball screen is set in the middle of the floor, while a guard, usually a shooter, simultaneously sets a back screen on the ball screen's defender before popping to the perimeter. Typically, the two players not directly involved in the action are located in the corners to keep middle ball screen spacing. The action has proven extremely difficult to guard and an effective go-to set, which is why we are seeing a spike in popularity over the past few seasons. Getting right into it, Spain pick and roll is most easily understood when broken down into three parts: the screener, the shooter, and the ball handler. The screener, usually a big, will look to set a middle ball screen for the ball handler. As this is happening, the shooter will headhunt the screener's defender and look to set a back screen as the screener rolls to the rim. The shooter will then pop to the perimeter after setting the back screen, looking for a catch and shoot opportunity. The ball handler will come off the initial middle ball screen with three potential scoring options. He can attack the rim or pull up off the dribble, hit the screener as he rolls to the rim, or hit the shooter as he pops to the perimeter. But why is Spain pick and roll so hard to guard? Well, to start, a simple ball screen is hard enough to guard, especially with great perimeter spacing. Add in a secondary action with the back screen by a shooter, and it becomes that much more difficult. Help on the screener rolling to the rim, and leave yourself vulnerable to an open catch and shoot. Stay with the shooter popping, and you distort the help on the roll and leave the screener open. Not to mention, you still have to worry about the ball handler turning the corner, and the two shooters spaced in each corner. And no matter which way you choose to defend it, you must communicate it and have all three defenders involved in the action on the same page, which is easier said than done, especially at game speed. In my opinion, triple switching the Spain pick and roll is the best way to defend against it, but since teams rarely have the personnel to pull off an effective triple switch, this often creates either a size or speed mismatch that can be attacked. And the final thing I wanted to discuss when talking about the Spain pick and roll that you may have noticed in some of these clips already is the fact that sometimes the shooter does not set the back screen on the screener's defender. Instead, he pops to the perimeter right away. When executing Spain pick and roll, the shooter setting the back screen is reading the screener's defender. If the screener's defender stays close or tight to the roller, the shooter should look to set a solid back screen before popping to the perimeter. However, if the screener's defender becomes detached from the screener during the initial ball screen coverage, the shooter should pop immediately rather than looking to set a back screen. This usually happens when the screener's defender is in an aggressive coverage, like hard hedging. This works because with the screener's defender hard hedging the initial ball screen, the shooter's defender is forced to tag or help on the screener rolling to the rim. By skipping the back screen and simply sprinting to space along the perimeter, the shooter forces his defender to make a decision: either help on the roll or stay with the shooter. If his defender decides to tag and help on the roll, then the shooter will be wide open as he pops. If his defender decides to stay with the shooter, he risks leaving 5 open as he rolls to the rim. Again, the general rule of thumb for the shooter and back screener is if the screener's defender becomes detached from the screener, just pop to the perimeter and forget about the back screen. Well guys, there you have it. Hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, as always, be sure to like it and subscribe to the channel for more basketball breakdowns.